Alright, the theme of today's video, it will be the BALFOURI enclosure, the communal BALFOURI enclosure, and what we will be doing, we will be adding 5 more BALFOURI slings. And please, while we are at it, ignore this thing behind me, because this is the theme of the next video. I am building something here, as you know. Okay, BALFOURI enclosure. Here are the BALFOURI slings. There you see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 cute babies, and they are going directly in this communal enclosure where I have at least 2 mature, no, not mature. I'm not really sure if they are mature, but they are fairly big now, maybe 1 molt away from being mature. 2 females are inside for sure, and maybe potentially there is the third, because in theory there should be 3 females inside, but I haven't seen 3 of them being outside together in a long time. So that is why I'm unfortunately comfortable to say, confident to say that there are only 2 females inside. You know the story, I assume that you know the story about this communal enclosure. It started with 9 slings at first, and at start they weren't bigger than these little guys. They were maybe even No, they were approximately that size. And you know, I started it as a communal enclosure right from the get-go. They were all from the same exec, but in the first treehouse there were only 8 inside. So that means that 1 sling died. Maybe it was eaten by others, but I doubt that, because you know, small slings, they are generally fragile, and you can expect that certain amount will die off. So in the first treehouse, 8 in total. Then for a long time there were still 8 inside, living together happily, and I rehoused them a couple of times. I don't remember how many rehouses there were, like 1, 2, I think this was 3rd or maybe even 4th rehouse, I'm not sure. But before I moved them in this enclosure, 4 males matured, and I assume that other 4 are females, because in theory, since they were all siblings, since they were all the same size, I assume that they are all maturing on the same mold. I mean, that should be expected, but as there were 4 mature males, later on one of the 4 females molted, and it actually became a mature male. And slowly but surely those mature males, they died off, but 2 of those males I gave away to my friends. One of those males went to Jerko. You might remember him from my past videos. I actually went a couple of times to Terra Plaza with him. I actually recorded the BALFOURI sexy time at his place, but that wasn't the breeding with my male, that was some other male. And also he was the one that gave me like 20-ish tarantulas, because he was reducing his collection due to a lack of time. So he got 1 male, and the other male went to Ivan. He was the one that gave me the Aphonopelma semane female that unfortunately recently passed away. And these babies are actually the offspring from that male that went to Jerko. And the other male that I gave to Ivan, he was also successful, so I will be bringing in the future a couple of slings from him also. So that is a quick story and summary of this BALFOURI communal, and also how those babies were produced, and together with future babies. Now, what I want to do today, I want to add those guys directly in here, and I'm not 100% sure that that will be successful, that will work out, but I heard a lot of stories that it can be safely done and that I shouldn't worry about it, but I still worry, to be honest. So the girls are actually somewhere inside of this 3-piece, as you see. There is not a lot of webbing around it, and that is mostly because there is a hole through entire length of this tree. So therefore they are spending majority of their time inside of their hole, and they were slowly, really slowly adding the webbing on the outside. This is actually something new. You see this webbing that wasn't there like a week ago, I think, or maybe I forgot, I'm not really sure. But as they webbed up the tree, I added these branches. I was hoping that they will continue with the web production, you see, and it kind of worked. This is not as thick as these webs, but it definitely is kind of bigger. And initially I was hoping that this entire place will be covered in web and that we will have one super webbed up enclosure, but unfortunately that was expectation and this is the reality. But maybe, hopefully, if the slings will be accepted in this communal enclosure, and also if the future slings that I will add will be accepted, then there is a great chance that the web will significantly increase. Now there is only one concern, I mean one additional concern. Can they go out through these holes? I'm pretty sure they cannot, but maybe I should test this out first. Let me try something. I will return the lid and then I will take their transportation box. This is not how they were shipped to me. I actually went to Yerko and brought them here. I think that they will fall when I flip the... Will they? Yeah, kinda. Okay, you see what is the idea. I want to test out if they can go inside, or maybe... Oh, they're falling down. Can you guys go through this ventilation hole? I need something else. I will isolate one. Now I can simply just push him on top of that. Yeah, there is no idea that they can go in and out. But it would be cool to see if he tried. No, he cannot, right? Even though their abdomen is bigger than the holes, they still can squeeze their abdomen. But if the holes are smaller than carapace, then they cannot go, because carapace is fixed size, while abdomen not so really. Now I got a bit more complicated situation. Before I add them inside, I actually want to add more substrate to the side of the central wood. I mean the only wood inside. And that will be much easier than with having a fresh slings inside that can potentially bolt on across and outside of the enclosure. So let me bring the substrate where it is. No, I don't even know where I'm keeping the certain stuff, but you see, it is cool. Now I am in completely different room of the dark den, and you can still hear me because I'm having a lapel microphone and it is wireless. So that is this thing, you see. Here is the transmitter and it is connected directly to the camera. When I showed you Stefica, the cat, you know that like last few minutes were without this microphone and the sound was coming only from this camera, which is significantly worse than this one. You can hear it now, right? Much worse, and especially if I put the camera somewhere around, the voice is changing depending on where the camera is, while when I'm talking through this, no matter where I'm going and how I'm turned, the sound is constant, right? And what is changed in regards to that setup, and now you see in the same time I have a splitter here, and that splits the lapel microphone. This is its this is the receiver. You see, this is the cable that goes into one channel, and also I'm using this microphone as a backup that is connected to the other channel. So in case this microphone fails, I still have the microphone on top of the camera as a safety precaution, because I'm not always using this camera. And luckily, even though in those final shots of that video I wasn't using this camera actively, but it was still recording and standing beside me and recording the sound. Otherwise you wouldn't hear anything, because the battery in this died and I didn't notice it, because it doesn't beep or anything. You just need to be aware of the battery life on this thing. But it is awesome because I'm loving it. Okay, anyhow, I don't know how this turned into a tech demonstration. I didn't have those intentions really. But let me put the substrate right over there, you see. And also, while we are here, I see some roach leftovers, so we can at the same time do the maintenance. One roach left over here, and the other one is right here. You see? Come on. Oh, seriously? Are you kidding me? How? How is this? Come on. crazy. Are there any other leftovers? Let me just check. No, I think that is everything. I can add the substrate. And the reason for that is I just want to make sure that if slings want to dig a bit, I want to give them slightly moist substrate, because all the rest of inside is bone dry, as it should be for BALFOURIs. So now they will have this heel for it. The only bad thing that I don't like now, this is pure cocoa fiber, while this was the combination of cocoa fiber and potting soil. So maybe I should take some potting soil, throw it on top and mix it all up. So I will just scatter that around like that. It is already fitting inside much better. Yes, that's better. That is so much better. Now hopefully all females are inside, right? There is none lurking around. That could potentially be troubling for my fingers, because I'm fairly concentrated on recording the video and I don't have good awareness of what is happening around me at the moment. Sprinkle of sand, just so it looks a bit better, I don't know. But once they cover it with web, then it will be the same like the rest of the enclosure. And also I want to add a bit more twigs to give them more stuff to web around. And for that I will use these branches. This will give them a lot of additional anchoring points. I actually see some movement inside. The females are surely wondering what the hell is happening. Okay, it will be interesting to see what will happen with this. If you look down there, you can perhaps spot one leg, you see? Right, that thing, that black thing, that is one leg. You see the entrance it is actually closed a bit. Interesting. While this entrance, this one is opened wide. Maybe we can shine some light in there and see if we can spot someone. Nope, not really. And the other entrance, yeah, everything is closed off. I don't know what is up with that. They molted kind of recently, so I'm surprised by that. I actually fed them like a couple days ago. They were outside. I mean, one was on the edge of the enclosure, and I dumped a couple of roaches and they are gone now. So yeah, I think that now we can add the slings, the babies, but I'm not really sure exactly where I want to do that. If I want to just put them on this uncontested area, or if I want to put them directly on the web, so they will I don't know. Regardless where I put them, I think that they will move across the entire enclosure anyway. And look who is moving around. It is Felix. Hey little guy, how are you? Are you hungry? Do you want one roach maybe? That is an unnecessary question, because he always wants a roach. Let's give him one, so he doesn't feel left out in here. Yeah, still big mess, sorry. I will grab one male. Do you want this maybe? Oh yes, but let me give you some powders first. Some calcium, in you go. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to come here maybe? Oh, yum, 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 yum. So tasty, so fresh and tasty. What a handsome looking guy, right? While Latte is the cutest one in the dark den, this guy is the handsomest. Is handsomest? No, most handsome. Yeah, that would be the word. Let's get the slings inside. And the easiest way for that, I definitely didn't make this easier by opening the slings like this. Okay, in you go. Whoops, there he is. He will now quickly squeeze into the substrate, I'm pretty sure. But I need to keep my eye on the enclosure, because they can now potentially run away. You know how fast they are. When I was rehousing them for the first time, I was forced to leave the sofa because one ran from the table and under the sofa. Fun times for sure. I need to get them again into this box, but I need two hands for that, so just give me a second. I will do the reverse thing of what I did. And Felix, I think that he wants more. He came down, you see, he was over there and now he went back down. What a guy. No more roaches for you, you already ate today. That roach was actually a bonus. Alright, mission successful. Off you go, little friends. Now, there one is bolting, and there's the other. Third, fourth and fifth is there under the branch, but I need to make sure that the situation doesn't go out of hand. Thankfully for now they are not climbing glass. This one is actually walking slowly, and there is the third still. They are actually having a meetup, you see. So two of them over there, third is down there. Lights are off. You can see fourth there, and fifth, well, he is somewhere around. Not sure where exactly, but I'm sure that they will manage. I will close the enclosure because it is the safest thing, and let me turn on the lights once again manually. I will turn them off when I'm done here. Quick cleaning, and I would actually like to set up a camera and record a time-lapse through the night to see what will happen and if they will be scouting the entire area or if they will sit tight through the entire night. And if the females come out and if there will be some sort of interaction or whatever, I would like to record that. But before we set that up, let me explain you the future of this setup, because currently you see their enclosure is sitting on this, and this is a random furniture piece that I get from a friend of mine that wanted to throw this out. But we figure out that this is the perfect size for this enclosure, and therefore I used it so far, and it's really nice, except this is white and I would prefer if it was black, but other than that I really enjoyed it. But it is kind of a waste of space because this is not used underneath. I want to use the space underneath, and I want to make something special out of it. Ugh, look who is visiting us. This little guy is on the way. Anyhow, what I want to do, I want to have another enclosure underneath of this one and have this entire enclosure a bit higher. So the top of this enclosure should be like somewhere around here. So the bottom would be like here. And then under that enclosure, I would like to have another enclosure, another communal setup. And what I would like to house in that huge enclosure, you are going to love this. You know what I have in this box. Inside I have a lot of Hysterocrates gigas slings, and where are they all hiding? There is a lot of these boys and girls inside, and they are not happy that I removed their top. There were a bunch of outside and now they are all gone and hiding. Originally there were like 50-ish inside, and I'm pretty sure that there is still a lot currently, because you see when I move the enclosure you can actually see the movement everywhere, can you? There are a lot of tunnels in this enclosure, trust me, and they are all filled with tarantulas. So around 50-ish tarantula slings inside, Hysterocrates giga slings. And for them, of course, I want to make enclosure of this size that will be just under this one. Do you like that idea? I definitely do, I definitely do. Even though Hysterocrates gigas, they are not that commonly known as communal species, but so far it is working, and I heard a lot of positive experience with them. I know a guy that had an egg sac, and he left the slings with the mother, and I believe that all of those slings, majority of them matured and they were still inside with them. So I'm hoping for the same result, minus the mother, because you know that we keep her in a separate enclosure. But we will see how it will go, if they will tolerate each other, and if they will live a long and happy life. I don't know what is the exact obsession with us humans to have a communal enclosure. The possibility just seems so much more exciting than having a regular one tarantula in one enclosure. I don't know why, but as soon as you hear that some species can be kept communal, I'm just like, oh really, maybe I should get. But unlike, you know, that the insane ones, that didn't really turn out that good. So I kind of wonder if there is a point if experimenting, but this apparently can work out. So we will see how that will turn out. So now, after all this rambling, let's jump into a time lapse and see how we will end this video, huh? Let's go! And so, as expected, the slings were all over the place. They were crawling around and exploring the area. You can even see one going into female's hide, but quickly he bolted outside. They were even climbing the glass a bit, but it didn't spot anyone going all the way to the top. And then finally one female came out of her den, and at first she spent a good amount of time webbing this spot, as you see, and after she was done with that she was also crawling all over the place. And honestly, I was surprised that she was this active. As usual, I only see them sitting in one spot all the time. Maybe feeling the slings walking around her web motivated her to do that. Thankfully, there was no visible hostility towards the slings, so that's a good thing. We will see how the situation will develop in the future. I hope this works out and that it will be safe to add more slings after some time. Also, I have one male that is 1 molt away from being matured, that is kept separately, so that is also something to look for. Anyhow, that was all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload on Monday and Friday. So see you again soon. Bye!